I'm the youngest of four. In 2013, they appointed me as their durable power of attorney as well as the trustee of their trust. Both of my parents began to show signs of dementia as early as 2015, and by 2018, we knew we needed to do something because it was getting really bad. My father was leaving the house, and it was very unsafe. So we knew we needed to do something to keep them safe, and my husband and I agreed to build a grand pad in our home. That's what we call it, but it's like an in-suite apartment. So we moved both of my parents in early 2019. And my father passed away in 2019 in September. And as it naturally would happen, my mother's dementia got a lot worse because her husband of 62 years was no longer with her. So you fast forward to May 1st, 2021, over a year into the pandemic, and my niece takes my mom for a birthday party and then refuses to return her. She creates a revocation of my power of attorney and notarizes it. It is illegal to notarize for family and to have someone with dementia sign a legal document to change power of attorney. My niece went to my mom's bank and presented the revocation of my power of attorney to gain access to my mother's trust. The bank immediately froze the account, and 2 weeks later it was closed for attempted fraud. But the bank never reported it to the FDIC, so no charges were ever brought. Just days after taking my mother, my niece filed restraining orders against myself, my husband, and my brother in a further attempt to isolate her. On May 17, 2021, my niece attempted to have me arrested for breaking the restraining order for being at the hospital where she just so happened to be. I was with my son who had just had a seizure due to a rare life-threatening condition. Thankfully, I wasn't arrested. The police officer that came saw that obviously I had a real situation and that she was using the system for her benefit. So because of my niece's experience as a paralegal, she knew exactly what steps to take to isolate and manipulate my 88-year-old mother with dementia. Probate court throughout the country is notorious for not having any oversight or accountability, making it easy for predatory attorneys to gain the estates of the elderly and disabled. In our case, there's a guardian ad litem, a court-appointed attorney, a guardian, and an attorney for the guardian, and they're all requesting to be paid from my mother's trust. The guardian ad litem did not complete a thorough investigation. She did not come to my house to see where my mother had lived for over 2 years. She did not speak to my brothers. She did not speak to my mother's physician. In the first 3 months of isolation, my mother was hospitalized with sepsis from an untreated urinary tract infection and had lost 23 pounds. We filed an emergency petition to have her removed from my niece's care, but the judge would not hear the argument and stated he would sanction us if we filed any more frivolous petitions. At present, I have over $100,000 in legal fees, and my family has been greatly affected by the egregious actions of my niece, my sister, and the overall corruption that exists in probate court. We've been threatened with arrest, fines, and sanctions for fighting for our mother and for speaking out. I am hoping by speaking out we can bring awareness to these atrocities and by adopting Carolyn's law, prevent the isolation of another elderly person so they won't have to suffer as my mother and our family have. Carolyn's law would have protected my mother and it would protect your parents too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, Cindy. And what venue was that? I remember hearing this.
What do you mean?
Where
I'm in Michigan?
in Michigan.
Yes.
Thanks, Kristen.
It's in every state.
Yeah,
Appreciate you coming
we've heard
over.
Florida, New York, Michigan. I'm sure the list is going to
Yeah.
continue. And we've gotten calls at our office all over.
And our hope is if we can come up with a good model here, because that's one thing I would say, is there's not been, look, is there somewhere else, another state that has addressed this issue effectively? And the answer really is no. So we're hoping we can be a model for it. But thank you for coming all the way.
Thank you.
Thanks for having me.